Hello and welcome to today's class of Vedic astrology. So today we will be understanding about combust planets. That is when a planet gets combust, in which situation, under which condition a planet gets combust. All right. And also, if you have just started watching my classes on Vedic astrology, I will suggest you and I will recommend you to go to class 1 first, then go to class 2, then class 3, and so on and so forth. Because if all of a sudden you are tuning into any of my classes, might be today's class or in any of the upcoming class, and if you have not watched my earlier classes, then you will not be able to understand completely whatever I will be mentioning and saying in today's videos or in any of the upcoming videos. All right. So I'm taking the classes in order to teach you in detail about Vedic astrology in complete detail. All right. I'll teach you whatever you need to know in order to properly and accurately analyze any horoscope or any Vedic chart. All right. And for that, it is very essential that you need to start watching my videos from class 1 and then move forward. Okay, so let's start with today's topic. So combust is an English word. In Hindi we say as ast. Surya, because of Surya, that's because of sun, a planet is getting ast. So if I want to translate the same in English, it will be because of sun, any planet is getting combusted. Now, how does that planet gets combust? How does a planet gets ast because of sun? So you have to note one thing first. It is only sun which has the capability to combust other planets. Sun itself cannot get combusted. All right. Other planets can get combust because of sun, can go ast because of sun. And there are two planets, or you can say shadow planets, but in Vedic astrology we don't refer the term as shadow planets because Rahu and Ketu are having a lot of significance in a Vedic astrology chart, and they are considered to be on equal having an equal level having an equal level of importance as compared to the 7 other planets. All right. So even though astronomically Rahu and Ketu are not physical planets, they are known to be like shadow planets. But in Vedic astrology, those are referred and those are taken as planets which are having the same importance as compared to the other 7 planets. All right. So Rahu and Ketu, these two planets does not get combust by sun. Other than Rahu and Ketu, all the other 6 planets are getting combusted by sun, gets ast by sun. Now we have to understand in which condition a planet is getting combusted because of sun. All right. So let's understand. In a particular Vedic horoscope chart, every planet has a certain degree. I had mentioned about the degrees of planet. I have touched about this particular topic, I believe, in class 1. So every planet holds a certain degree in a particular house where it is situated. All right. And a particular house has 30 degrees, and a planet which is placed in that particular house holds a degree from 0 to 30. So we don't say 30, from 0 to 29. And I have also mentioned this. I'll just repeat it one more time. If a planet has weak degrees, that is 0, 1, 2, 28, 29, then such planets are said that they do not have proper impact in that individual. So horoscope. we refer to these planets as powerless whenever the degrees of such planets are very less. That is either 0, 1, 2 or on the extreme end, that is on 28 or 29. So the impact of such planets are quite powerless. And so based on this degree only, based on this concept of degrees, we can understand whether a particular planet is getting combusted because of sun. All right. So similar to the 6 planets, Sun also has a degree. Even Rahu and Ketu also has a degree. All right. But we will not talk about Rahu and Ketu in this particular topic because as I had already mentioned, Rahu and Ketu does not get combusted by sun. All right. So every planet has a certain degree when they are placed in a certain house of a Lagna chart. Same sun also has a certain degree. Now, whenever a particular planet comes in close conjunction with sun, that planet loses its power. All right. So if it is a Yogakaraka planet getting combusted by sun, then that Yogakaraka planet will lose its Yogakaraka power. That Yogakaraka planet will not be able to provide Yogakaraka auspicious effects to that individual because it is getting combust by sun. Similarly, a Maraka planet, if it is getting in close conjunction with sun, then that Maraka planet will lose its Maraka effect. Now this is you can say this is a blessing, because a Maraka planet in a particular Lagna chart is supposed to give inauspicious or unfavorable effects to that individual's life during its dashas especially Mahadasha and Antardasha. But when a Maraka planet gets combust by sun, then the Maraka planet loses its Maraka effect. Means the Maraka planet does not have the power, does not have that capability to provide Maraka inauspicious, negative, unfavorable effects, because it is losing its power, because it is getting combusted by sun. It is coming in close conjunction with sun. All right. So whenever I say that a particular planet is coming in close conjunction, this close conjunction is very specific. All right. It is not general. Every planet has a certain degrees. That is the degree distance between a particular planet and a sun is different. So every planet, when it comes to a particular degrees within sun, it gets combusted. So I will talk about this now in detail. Now if the degree distance between moon and sun is 12 degrees, then moon is said to be 12 degrees or less. So moon is said to be combusted. Moon gets ast. Example. In a particular house or in adjacent houses, if moon and sun is placed, and suppose let's understand in one house only, all right, to avoid confusion. If moon is situated in house number 9 and sun is also placed in house number 9. Now sun is having a degree of 21 and moon is having a degree of 13. All right. So what is the degree difference between sun and moon? It is 8. So moon is said to be combust. Moon will lose its power. Whether Yogakaraka or Maraka, that will depend on the Lagna chart of that particular individual. All right. So whenever the degree distance between moon and sun is 12 degrees or less, moon will get combusted. Mars. Whenever the degree distance between Mars and sun is 17 degree or less, Mars is said to be combusted. All right. Example, suppose if the degree of Mars in a particular horoscope is 4 degrees and if the degree of sun in a particular horoscope is 11 degrees, all right, then and both are situated in the same house. So the degree distance between Mars and sun is one is 11, one is 4, so 7 degrees. So Mars will get combusted. Now if the same is more than 17 degrees, then Mars will not get combusted. Same was applicable for moon also. Example, if the degree distance, suppose if Mars is situated in one particular house and in the same house Sun is situated also. Now the degree of Mars is suppose 5 degrees and the degree of Sun is suppose 22 degrees, 23 degrees, all right. Now what is the degree distance between Sun and Mars here? It is 23 minus 5, 18 degrees. So Mars will not get combusted because the degree difference between Mars and Sun is more than 17 degrees. All right. So this you have to understand. If the degree difference between Mercury and Sun is 13 degree or less, then Mercury will get combusted. All right. So Mercury and Sun, they form a very auspicious Raj Yoga that is known as Budh Aditya Raj Yoga. All right. So Budh Aditya Raj Yoga will not form if Mercury is getting combusted. All right. The auspicious effects, the benefits of Budh Aditya Raj Yoga will not be forming or will not be visible in an individual's life if Mercury is getting combusted because of Sun. Means if the degree difference between Mercury and Sun is 13 degree or less. And if the degree difference between Mercury and Sun is more than 13 degrees, then Mercury doesn't get combusted. So both Mercury and Sun, they play their individual role. Whether Yogakarka or Marka, again depends on the horoscope Lagna chart. So Budh Aditya Raj Yoga, I'm just as I have just talked about this particular topic, it's Budh Aditya Raj Yoga. Again, there are a lot of conditions for that to form. It is nothing like if Mercury and Sun is sitting in one particular house, there will be Budh Aditya Raj Yoga. No, there are a lot of conditions, important conditions that needs to be satisfied. One of them is this: Mercury should not get combusted. If the degree difference between Jupiter and Sun is 11 degree or less, then Jupiter will get combusted, or you can say ast. If the degree difference between Venus and Sun is 9 degrees or less, then Venus will get combusted or ast. If the degree difference between Saturn and Sun is 15 degree or less, then Saturn will get combusted. All right. So please note it down. So whenever a Lagna chart will open in front of you, you will be able to understand whether a particular planet, if it is coming in close conjunction with Sun, that is sitting with Sun in one house or just in the adjacent houses, one house after or one house before, you will now know whether that particular planet gets combusted or not. All right. Again, I'm repeating, if the degree difference between Sun and Moon is 12 degree or less, then Moon will get combusted. If the degree difference between Mars and Sun is 17 degree or less, then Mars will get combusted. If the degree difference between Mercury and Sun is 13 degree or less, then Mercury will get combusted. If the degree difference between Jupiter and Sun is 11 degrees or less, then Jupiter will get combusted. If the degree difference between Venus and Sun is 9 degrees or less, then Venus will get combusted. If the degree difference between Saturn and Sun is 15 degrees or less, then Saturn will get combusted. Now let's again look at some more examples so that you will be able to practice it more. All right. You can pause the video and you can draw an Aries Lagna chart. All right. First house ruled by Aries. Now suppose if Sun and Moon both are situated in the 10th house of that Lagna chart. Sun is having a degree of 5, Moon is having a degree of 12. Now you tell me whether Moon is combusted or not in this particular Lagna chart. So moon is combusted because the degree difference between sun and moon is 7 degrees. And I had already said previously, if the degree difference between sun and moon is 12 degree or less, moon will get combusted. So here moon is getting combusted. Moon will not be able to give effects, right? It's required effects. Moon is supposed to lose its power when moon gets combusted. Let's look at one more example in the same Aries Lagna chart. All right, you can draw one more chart if you want to. Suppose in the 10th house, Mercury and Sun is situated. In the 11th house, Mars is situated. In the 9th house, Venus is situated. Now the degree of Mercury is 27 degrees. The degree of Sun is 5 degrees. The degree of Mars is 4 degrees. And the degree of Venus is 28 degrees. Now you tell me which of these planets, that is Mercury, Venus and Mars, are getting or is getting combusted because of Sun. Now let's understand, all right? Now the degree difference between Mercury and Sun is 22 degrees. And what did I say previously? When the degree difference between Mercury and Sun is 13 degree or less, then Mercury gets combusted. So in this particular scenario, Mercury is having a degree difference with Sun of 22 degrees. So Mercury doesn't get combust. Now let's look at Venus. Now Venus in the 9th house is having 28 degrees. So here you have to understand, as I had already mentioned, it is not necessary that in the same house a planet sitting with Sun will get combusted. If Sun is placed in one house, even in the adjacent houses also you have to look whether a particular planet gets combusted or not. Here in this example, Sun is situated in the 10th house having a degree of 5. Venus is situated in the 9th house having a degree of 28. Now let's understand how you will calculate the degree difference between Venus and Sun in this case. Now Venus is having 28 degrees. So in order to complete the 9th house, it needs to move 2 degrees, right? Because one house has a capacity of 30 degrees. So now in order to reach Sun in the 10th house, it needs to travel more 5 degrees because Sun is having a degree of 5. So if you want to calculate the degree difference between Venus and Sun, this is how you're calculating it. Venus needs to move 2 more degrees in the same house, that is the 9th house, to reach the 10th house. So 2 degrees here. Now in order to reach Sun, which is at 5 degrees, it needs to move 5 more degrees, that is plus 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. So the degree difference between Sun and Mercury here is 7 degrees, all right? And as I had said, if the degree difference between Sun and Venus is 9 degrees or less, then Venus will get combusted. So here Venus is getting combusted because of Sun. So even Venus and Sun both are placed in different houses. Venus still gets combusted, all right? So this is a particular concept you need to understand very, very clearly. Now let's look at Mars. Now Mars is situated in the 11th house. Now Sun is situated in the 10th house. Now if Sun wants to complete its movement in the 10th house, it needs to move 25 degrees, right? And the movement is always anti-clockwise. I had also discussed this in my previous classes. So Sun needs to move 25 degrees in order to completely travel the 10th house. And in order to reach Mars, it needs to move further 4 degrees. So the degree difference between Mars and Sun is 29 degrees. So Mars does not get combust because of Sun, because the degree difference between Mars and Sun is 29 degrees. And if Mars needs to get combusted because of Sun, then the degree difference between Mars and Sun needs to be 17 degrees or less. Alright, so let's look at one more example. In the same Aries Lagna chart, in the first house, you can mention Venus. Suppose Venus is now situated in the first house of the Aries Lagna. Alright. Now let's look at the second house. In the second house, Saturn and Sun are situated. Venus is situated in the first house of the Aries Lagna, and Venus has a degree of 15. Sun is situated in the second house having a degree of 28. Saturn is also situated in the second house having a degree of 22. Now let's look at, now you tell me which of these planets, Venus or Sun, is getting combusted. Now let's understand this, all right? So the degree difference between Venus and Sun is 43 degrees, because Venus needs to move 15 degrees to complete the first house, and in order to reach Sun, it needs to move further 28 degrees, all right? So the degree difference between Sun and Venus is 43 degrees. So no way Venus is getting combusted. Venus does not get combust here. Now the degree difference between Saturn and Sun here is 6 degrees, because Saturn is having a degree of 22, Sun is having a degree of 28. All right. So the degree difference between Saturn and Sun is 28 minus 22. A very simple calculation which gives 6 degrees. So Saturn here is getting combusted because of Sun, and I had already discussed this earlier in this video. If the degree difference between Saturn and Sun is 15 degree or less, then Saturn gets combusted because of Sun. All right. Here the degree is 6 degrees. So Saturn is getting combusted. Saturn gets ast because of Sun. So this is what I wanted to discuss in this particular video, what I wanted to teach you in this particular video, in this particular class. That is, when does a planet get combust? In which condition a planet gets combust? When a planet gets combust, what happens? So again, I'm repeating it. When a planet gets combust, it loses its power. It's as simple as that. Whether that power is positive power or negative power, it depends upon whether that particular planet is Yoga Karaka or Maraka for that particular Lagna chart, for that individual's Lagna chart. All right. I hope I have been able to properly make you understand about this very, very important topic of when a planet is getting combusted because of Sun. All right. So that was it for this particular class. I will see you in the next class. And before you sign off, I'll request you to please subscribe to this particular channel, like this video, share this video, so that more and more people are aware about the classes that are going on in this particular Living Virtuously YouTube channel, so that others will also be able to utilize and learn the accurate Vedic astrology. And that's my objective. And the only thing that I'm requesting is please subscribe to this particular YouTube channel. And also, if you have any doubts, any queries related to today's class or any of the previous classes, please share your comments in the respective class, and I'll try to clear your doubt and query by answering your questions, answering your doubts, when it is, as long as it is related to Vedic astrology. All right. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next class. Take care.